I'm sitting in my closet. I'm sitting in my closet in the dark. I'm not in the dark, but I am sitting in my closet with my phone and with a tiny microphone that I've bought in a store for like how much? Like $3. I'm gonna tell some school stories because that's all I could come up with. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna talk about. In about fifth grade, I had like a group of friends, and we had this English teacher. In my school, there were only two teachers. It was the Spanish teacher and the English teacher, and like the Spanish teacher taught Spanish, obviously, and math and history and geography, I think, and like a bunch of other subjects. And the English teacher taught grammar, writing, spelling, and all that stuff, and English, of course. So that's how like our school system worked. I think in fourth grade. I can't remember actually. I think it was fourth grade. But basically, we had this one English teacher that everyone hated, and I mean absolutely despised this woman. But basically, the entire class hated her. But me and my friend group, we were kind of like the weird kids that thought they were funny. Not they thought they were funny as in like we messed with other kids, but we just thought we were funny, like within ourselves. So we all hated this teacher, and we used to like make up names for teachers that we didn't like. But this teacher had a specific haircut. She looked like she looked like a mushroom. I'm not even joking. She looked like that thing from Mario. I don't know what its name is, but that's what she looked like. I'm not even joking. And my friends used to joke around a lot with her name because her name was so weird. Her last name was so like weirdly pronounced, and we just always made fun of her. Not like at her, like not in her face. We're not stupid. This one time we were talking, I don't know why, but we were just kind of hating on the teacher as usual, and we were like weird kids. And I'm not saying that in like a we liked Five Nights at Freddy's. Like yeah, but we were weird. Like I remember one of my friends was like, what if we put her in a locker, lock her in there, and feed her tortillas? Because why not? That was like because the lockers we had like this tiny little hole that was like really flat, so you couldn't really fit much in there, and we thought we would just feed her off of bread and tortillas and stuff. One time I remember, so you know how teachers usually keep like this cake cutting knife in like one of the drawers if it's like, well, I don't know if this actually happens a lot, but in my school at least, when it was a teacher's birthday, they would bring in a cake. Like the students would bring in a cake, or the moms would bring in a cake, and the teachers would cut it with that knife that they kept in their drawer. But it was like a specific knife. It was like that triangular shaped knife to cut cakes. And we knew this because where she kept the knife was like a clear plastic drawer that you could see everything was in it, and you could see like a bunch of papers, and you could see like scissors and stuff, but you could also see a knife. And I remember we were all like, oh, that's weird, but it's probably just for like the cakes. It's like the cake knife, but it's not like triangular. It's just weird. And we were like, okay, and we just kind of put it off. We made a joke like, oh my god, what if she's like a serial killer? Because, you know, she was just so mean, and we were just like, what if she's a serial killer and we're just all her victims and she's just gonna kill us one day? She didn't, but then one day her birthday rolled around, or like a kid's I don't know, but point is someone brought a cake, and we were like, okay, cool, whatever. And she whips out a knife. She whips out not the knife that was in the drawer, but another triangular knife. And at the moment we didn't pay attention to it, and then we cut the cake because it was cake. We weren't really paying attention to the knife. We were just paying attention to the cake we wanted to eat. She pulls out the knife, we all eat our cake, and then we're sitting down. I finish my cake, and I look at my friend and I go, she didn't use the knife on the drawer. And she's like, oh, you're right. To this day, I still don't know why my teacher kept a knife in her drawer. And we started making up gossip about this teacher. We were like, oh my god, what if she's actually a serial killer? Like, I know we were just joking around, and we were so scared. We were like, oh my god, she's gonna kill us all. Why does she have a knife? And why does she have it in a classroom? Which, like, I mean, you can kind of see my point, you know? I mean, why would you have a knife that you don't use for a cake in your classroom, in a drawer? Easily accessible drawer. It's not like a forgotten drawer, because that's where she kept all the papers and all the worksheets, because this teacher absolutely adored to give us worksheets. He was like, oh, what? You want me to work? No, you're gonna use worksheets. And that's why everyone always ran out of, like, the glue sticks did not last for like a month, did not last for like a week. You had to buy one every single week, if not like every day. I swear to God. So it wasn't like a weird knife that she just kept hidden. It was like there, and she never used it. And to this day, I don't know what happened. But anyways, this teacher, we hated her. So that's just like one part of the story. But I remember we used to tease her a lot, but she never knew. She also had like not the best English. I mean, she wasn't bad at English, but it wasn't the best. Like, sometimes she would screw up, which, like, I guess fair enough, I don't know. But when you corrected her, she would get mad. Like, if you said something like, "Oh, miss, you misspelled this," she would, like, yell at you. She would throw markers at you. She wouldn't throw markers at you. That's illegal. But, like, she would get mad. She'd be like, no one loves you. You're gonna die at 30. You're a disappointment and stuff. But one time, she was just, like, giving the class. And as I mentioned, her haircut was, like, a mushroom. She was, like, the mushroom from Mario. And my friend, he was like, "I have an idea." And we were like, "What?" He grabs like a raisin. I don't remember where he got that raisin. Actually, I don't remember if it was my friend or my other friend. One of my friends, I don't know who, grabs like a fucking raisin out of nowhere. I don't know where they got a raisin from, but they just had one, I guess. And they throw it to the teacher's hair, and it lands like right in the center. I'm talking like she had like a bald spot in like the middle of her hair. And the raisin landed in the middle, and she didn't know. She didn't feel it, and we were like, "Oh!" And we like, honestly, we all had our theories. I thought it was a wig. Some people thought it was a toupee. Some people thought it was extensions. Some people thought it was just like a whole wig. Like she was just bald, and I was like, "Damn." She didn't feel it, and we were all just wondering what the hell it was. And then I was like, "Oh my God, she's gonna go home, she's gonna shower, and then the next day she's gonna come back and yell at all of us because she had a raisin in her hair." She never did. She came back the next day and did not say a single word. Nothing about the issue was done. No one knew what happened. To finish off the video, I remember this one time, my friend, who I still get along with, by the way, I had this friend who had a glue stick, and I had seen someone like stick a glue stick to the ceiling, but the problem was our classroom had like a really tall ceiling. Like you could not reach it, not even with a broom. It was like really tall. So we were like, let's throw the glue stick to the ceiling and see if it sticks, and it just stays there, because that was like the whole point of the thing. And so each of us take a try. Like it was a big group of friends, and even some other people joined, and we start throwing around the glue stick, and we start throwing it, and I don't remember when we did this. I don't think it was mid-class, because the teacher probably would have told us off. And we start throwing it, and no one gets it, and we're like it sticks for a few seconds, but then it fell. So we were like, oh man. And then my freaking friend, she goes up into, like, I think she stepped on a chair, or maybe she didn't, I don't remember. And she throws the glue stick up in the air, and it sticks to the ceiling, and we're all like waiting for it to go down in like 3 seconds, and it doesn't. And we're like, oh my God, it's stuck. And honestly, I thought it was gonna fall like at the end of the class, like in an hour it would have fallen, but it didn't. And it didn't the next week, and it didn't the week after that, and it never did. It never fell. It just stayed there for the rest of the year, until my friend decided to take it down the last day of school because she felt bad. And we were like, no, don't take it down. She was like, yes, you guys, this is so mean, I don't want to do this. And she got up on a chair with a broomstick and took it down. And we were all pissed. We were like, why would you do that? We could have watched it grow. We would have watched it stay there forever, for the next 50 years, for the next generation. And she was like, I just felt bad, guys, I don't know. And I'm like, bitch, come on. But yeah, those are my school stories. I don't know, I just felt the need to make a small little video, which is now 10 minutes long. Oh goodness. But we all start somewhere, I guess. Yeah. This is the outro, but I just remembered another like tiny story, so I'm just gonna tell it. This one time, this kid, let's name him like Jeremy, he went to the bathroom, and this teacher had beef with this guy for some reason, I don't know. And she turns around mid-class, and she yells, "Jeremy, sit down!" Like really mad. And we all just stared at each other like, Jeremy is not even here. No one was even standing up. I think she was hallucinating or something. But yeah, that's the video. I don't know. The audio's really scuffed, and it was awful. So yeah.